Bhagavad Prabhu, do you know how to turn the mic on? I think the volume is off. You know how to do it? Oh, we have no volume. Anyway, at least they can hear us on the internet. Wasn't it just on for the kirtan? It wasn't on? Oh. Sorry, they took our sound system. So we have to live in acoustic sound, like India. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari. Go ahead. Jaya Radha Jaya Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Jai Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Giri Vadam Jai Giri Vadavohari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Jai Giri Vadam Hari. Jai Giri Vadavohari. Yasoda Nandana Braja Janarana Yasoda Nandana Braja Janarana Jaya Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jai Kunja Bihari. Jaya Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jai Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Jai Kunda Bihari. Yasoda Nandana Braja Janana Yasoda Nandana Braja Janana Yasoda Nandana Braja Janana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jai Kunja Bihari. Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jai Kunja Bihari. Jamuna Chiravana Chari Jagi Jabi Hari. Jai Radha Jai Kunda Bihari. Go Premanandi Hare Hare Om. Hare Krishna. Welcome, welcome. Janitili Parvashnam Vishnu Padastutar Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Sesi Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Antikoti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki ISKCON Guru Vrinda Ki Shishi Radhikala Chanji Ki Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Nitai Go Preman. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories, the lotus feet of Shishi Guru and Sri Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. All right, so some new devotees, new faces. Thank you for coming. My name is Narottam Das. I am one of the priests, the pujaris, and a disciple of Tamal Krishna Maharaj. And best friends with Samvriti. Thanks for, he drove you here? Nice, huh? I see you also from Nepal, I can see. Nice, well, welcome. And your name? Ayush, nice to meet you, Ayush. Namaskar. Hare Krishna. And who else is new today? Wow, and where are you coming from, Prabhu? Murli Mohan. And let me guess, you maybe are a disciple of Giriraj Maharaj. No? Because the rancher was just in the back, because Maharaj is here. So I thought maybe you guys came from, well, okay. And Romapad Maharaj, wow. Okay, nice to have you here. And you folks? Okay, Shakti Madhavi? Okay, welcome, welcome. And okay, welcome. Namaskar, Hare Krishna. Where are you all coming from? From Bangalore. Okay, welcome. I just came back from Bangalore. Yeah, so many nice temples and nice devotees there. Now I think they have 14 temples in Bangalore, in the city. A lot of preaching. Yeah. And what about these ladies here on their phones back here? You're visiting here, or are you? You're doing a master's degree at UT? UND. Okay, so welcome, welcome. We like all of our master's graduates. And where are you from? Which place? Hyderabad. Oh, very nice. We're reading about Hyderabad. When Prabhupada went there, there was a big drought there. And the government didn't know what to do. So even they had paid like the Brahmins at Tirupati to do a big sacrifice, and no rain was coming. So Prabhupada, he had about 20 Americans with him, and that he brought from here. And he said, because in this age, the sacrifice is Harinam Sankirtan, chanting the holy names. So Prabhupada did a big kirtan with these 20 Americans and in Hyderabad, and then the clouds gathered over where they were, Prabhupada, and the drought broke, and it started raining, and a big rainbow came over them. And then in the newspaper it said, Prabhupada and his dancing white elephants brought the rain. So welcome. Okay, welcome. And where are you from? Bhagavat? He's from the spiritual world. He just fell in here for a few days. Right, you're from Jamaica, right? He's a relative of Bob Marley. And who else do we have? Welcome, and where are you coming from? New Jersey. Wow. I see. So welcome, welcome. And your name, Prabhu? Srinivas. Wow. South Indians. More South Indians. And Mataji? Lakshmi and Srinivas. Wow, the perfect couple. Maybe your parents picked him, right? Because his name was Srinivas. Okay, welcome. All right, so today we're going to read a little bit from the Srimad Bhagavatam. We're in the first canto, and there's many important verses here. There's a particular verse here. This is Sutta Goswami. You guys can repeat after me, okay? We usually begin with an invocation. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So you just repeat. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So I'll read the verse here. It goes, Tanna Shushrushta Mananam Arhasyanga Nuvartitum Yasya Vartataro Bhutanam Shemaya Cha Bhavaya Cha. Okay, so here you can repeat after me. We'll do that word by word. So tat means those. Na, unto us. This word's kind of long. It's shu, shru, sa. Try that. Shu, shru, sa. Mananam. Those who are endeavoring for. Arhasi. Ought to do it. Anga. O Sutta Goswami. Anuvarnitum. To explain by following in the footsteps of previous acharyas. To explain by following in the footsteps of previous acharyas. Yasya, whose, avatar, incarnation, Bhutanam, of the living beings, Shemaya, for good, Cha, and Bhavaya, upliftment, Cha, and Okay, translation and report by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. O Sutta Goswami, yeah, you can repeat after me, it's fine. O Sutta Goswami, we are eager to learn about the personality of Godhead and His incarnations. Please explain to us those teachings imparted by previous masters, acharyas. For one is uplifted both by speaking them and by hearing them. Purport. The conditions for hearing the transcendental message of the Absolute Truth are set forth herein. The first condition is that the audience must be very sincere and eager to hear. And the speaker must be in the line of disciplic succession from the recognized acharya. The transcendental message of the Absolute is not understandable by those who are materially absorbed. Under the direction of a bona fide spiritual master, one becomes gradually purified. Therefore, one must be in the chain of disciplic succession and learn the spiritual art of submissive hearing. In the case of Sutta Goswami and the sages of Namasharanya, all these conditions are fulfilled because Srila Sutta Goswami is in the line of Srila Vyasadeva, and the sages of Namasharanya are all sincere souls who are anxious to learn the truth. Thus, the transcendental topics of Lord Sri Krishna's superhuman activities, his incarnation, his birth, appearance, or disappearance, his forms, his names, and so on, are all easily understandable because all requirements are fulfilled. Such discourses help all men on the path of spiritual realization. Om Gyanatmanandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshusan Niryatam Jaina Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jaina Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Swapadantikam. All right, the first point that I'd like us to focus on is that to accept something as proof and to understand a proof, we ourselves have to be qualified. Okay, that's the point that's being made here. There can be thousands of proofs, but if we aren't qualified to analyze or to understand those proofs, then basically we have no access to that. Like, for example, let's say we came up with a new medication. What would be a great new medication? How about pain relief? She's suffering. I'm also suffering. Oh my God, you guys, this material body. Where Krishna consciousness is meant to make the best use of a bad bargain. This material body is a bad bargain. I hope you're doing your master's in medicine. No, I'm just joking. All right, so say we came up with a new medicine. Let's say we made a medication that can cure Srinivasa's cold. Right? New Jersey's very cold, right? You must get colds all the time, right? So let's make a new medication that cures the common cold. All right, so now we've made that medicine. Let's just say we go out here at the highway and we stop one of the truck drivers, okay? And we ask the truck driver, "Sir, could you please analyze this medication and authorize it so it can be sold in the drugstore in CVS or wherever you guys go?" Where do you go? CVS? I'm going to the hospital dispensary now. It's much cheaper. They have their own, usually all the hospitals have their own pharmacy. I find it's like hundreds of dollars cheaper doing that, just so you know. But, okay, so we stop our friend, the truck driver, and we ask him, to analyze the medication so it can be sold in the drugstore? Can he do that? Most likely not, unless he's a retired doctor driving a truck, right? So to analyze the proof, we or whoever is seeing this proof has to be qualified. So that's the point that's being made here, okay? That it requires qualification. Someone might say, prove to me that God exists, or prove to me that Krishna is God. And we can say, look at all these books. You know, Srila Prabhupada, he actually wrote more books than Shakespeare. Prabhupada's responsible for over 100 volumes, about 500 pages each. And his books are printed in over 600 million, almost 700 million editions of his books have been printed and distributed in 82 languages. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Right? People don't know that, you see. But actually, Prabhupada was a prolific writer and great scholar. You know, even when you look at the books, you know, the quality of the books, like normally this even has a colored dust jacket, word by word translations from the original Sanskrit. You can see it's not a concoction, right? Or you can check Prabhupada's translations with a Sanskrit dictionary. The commentary, the explanation is based on an unbroken chain of renowned spiritual authorities. Like if you read the history of all Prabhupada's spiritual master, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. You know, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, he is recognized in Encyclopedia Britannica. He gave the numerical formulas to the British scientists by which they were able to adjust their telescopes and see the planet Pluto for the first time. The British in India, they were criticizing that the Surya Siddhanta is incorrect. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati was such a great scholar. This is when he was in college, like when he was about 21 years old. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, he took the Surya Siddhanta. He said the reason that you can't see these calculations as accurate because it's out of date. So he updated the whole Surya Siddhanta, which is the science of Vedic cosmology. You're going to the Sadhu Sangha? Okay, have a good time. Have fun. No. Narottam Das. Thank you for coming to see Radha Kalachandji. I hope they bless you. I hope they bless you. What, Srinivas, with lots of money? with Krishna Prema. With Krishna Prema. I hope he gives you a lot of money too, because I know you'll use it in his service. Okay, let's say, all right. I think he already showed you the path since you came here. Okay, I hope he gives you lots of bhakti and money for Lakshmi. How can Lakshmi not have money? Okay. Okay, see? This is the Bhagavatam class here, right? All right, thank you so much. Have fun. Hare Krishna. So, qualification is required to analyze proof. We can, someone will ask, how can you prove that Krishna is God? Prabhupada, one man challenged Prabhupada, and Prabhupada told this man, the man was very, rude and challenging. And Prabhupada told this man, we don't have to prove to you that Krishna is God. When Krishna slaps you down dead at the end of your life, then you'll understand who God is, dog. Right? Krishna says he will reveal himself to us through bhakti. Right? Just like today, Radha Kalachandji and all the deities. Aren't they beautiful? Right? This yellow is amazing, right? Yellow is Krishna's favorite color. This is like a Vasant Panchami outfit, with all this yellow. like a spring festival outfit. Right? So Krishna is so beautiful. So he can reveal himself like this. But if we are so stubborn and unwilling to be submissive, then Krishna comes in the form of death. You see? So back to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, he rewrote the entire Surya Siddhanta and he updated it because the last time it had been written was thousands of years ago. And so the whole cosmological pattern, it changes, you see? So he updated the entire thing and then he showed all of the British, this is 100% accurate. Actually, they were surprised how perfectly the Surya Siddhanta matched their research and also how they were able to even see the planet Pluto for the first time. They didn't even know that the planet Pluto was there. Planet Pluto is actually one of the courts of Lord Yamaraj. Lord Yamaraj has 2 courts. You can sit on the sofa. You don't have to sit down here. Your foot's hurting. Sit up, love. You can sit up. You can put your leg comfortably. Don't worry. The courts of Yamaraj, there's 2. One is on the dark side of the moon for people who are pious. Generally, when the bodies are cremated of pious people, their souls are carried in the smoke from the funeral. And then when you see the moon at night, you see that haze around the moon. It's described that that's the smoke of the funeral pyres. And the souls hover there, and then when they enter the dark, when they come to the dark side of the moon, there is a court of Yamaraj there. And people who are pious are allowed to enter into heavenly planets. But for people who are impious, they go to the planet Pluto. Look at her, she says she's impious. There's not an impious bone in your body, young lady. Anyway, yeah, planet Pluto, you can hear descriptions, just like we celebrate and practice ISKCON, because once Lord Vishnu visited Lord Yamaraj on the planet Pluto. Okay? And when he went there, he could hear the cries of this conditioned souls suffering from their sinful reactions. And so from the heart of Lord Vishnu, a goddess appeared. Ekadashi, the goddess Ekadashi. And her appearance was to give mercy to all conditioned souls. So anyone who practices Ekadashi by fasting on beans and grains, and especially by hearing and chanting about the Lord, they become freed from millions of lifetimes of sinful activities. You see? So, qualifications. Now, you see, we have a process Prabhupada taught us to practice the morning program, beginning with Mangalarti, Tulsi Puja, right? What else do we do? Chant japa, we worship the deities. Thank you, too, for coming. Good luck on your research, your master's degrees. Be nice to see them when they're done. Hare Krishna. And, right? Guru Puja, Bhagavatam, taking Krishna Prasadam, associating with devotees, spreading Krishna consciousness, going out to work, you see, and utilizing that money for Krishna's service. It's very important. It's Krishna didn't just ask Arjuna to chant japa. He told Arjuna, take over the entire world, even Jamaica. So Krishna, he wants devotion. Actually, Prabhupada, he translates the word bhakti not just as devotion, but as devotional service, because he wants it to be active. He wants us to act in devotion throughout the day. You see? So by following this process, gradually we become purified. That's what's mentioned here in the purport. What does it mean to become purified? Can anyone explain that? Bhagavat Maharaj? Okay, sure. But yeah, our question right now is, what does it mean to become purified? Oh, you attain mukti, but pure. So when a person is liberated, or mukti means liberation, that means they're purified. Right? No? Anyone else? Aligning our desires with Krishna's. That's very nice. Anybody else? Samriti? Aligning our desires with Krishna and being liberated. You know, I was having this profound realization. No. I mean, 50% of the joke's true. I mean, but I was having this profound realization about Bhagavad Ananda Prabhu here. No, yesterday, I was thinking about him, and I was thinking, here's a man who is actually liberated. No, really, if you see him, he is worshiping Krishna day and night. He's chanting, he's preaching, he's helping here in the temple. He's given up his family, he's stopped pursuing any type of material position or material possession. No more dogs. He used to have a dog. He would You see? So, and I was thinking, wow, this is Jivan Mukti. That's the name. Jivan Mukti means a prajiva, or a living being, that's within the material world, but is who's liberated from the influence of the material energy. You see? And I was thinking, wow, Bhagavad Ananda's like that, man. He's able to just do any service at any time, preach, discuss Krishna consciousness, chant japa, do it really. It's like astonishing to have you around. Thank you for being here. Even though we take one another for granted a lot of times, but actually, if you really think about it, you know, the devotees are so extraordinary. So purification. All right, so we're talking about, first of all, what's the difference between what we're doing and, say, practicing any religion, even Hinduism? Prabhupada makes the point that generally when we practice religion, we are practicing a type of faith. My mother offered agarbattis to Ganesh and prayed for money, and so now I will do that out of faith in what my mother's done. Right? Or, you know, so many things are like that. Just like I was born in an Italian family, and in Catholicism, I asked the nuns, who is God? They said, God is so great that nobody has ever got back far enough from him to even see him. And they said, but God is the oldest. So they showed me a picture of an old man with a long, long beard sitting on a throne, and he had a blank oval for a face. You see? Or just like we saw in India, right? So many people worshiping different ordinary men, or maybe some type of yogi, and they're claiming him to be God. Right? So, so what does it mean? Prabhupada said that Religion generally implies faith, and faith can change. You can have faith in this yogi. You can call him God. But suddenly when you realize, wow, this guy is so ugly. Maybe God should be beautiful. Maybe, or when you realize maybe God should have a face, not a blank oval. You know, right? We got so many feelings, we got so many desires, so many aspirations. It's like a bucket of water. And someone is telling you, take all your desires and love this blank oval. It's like pouring a bucket of water into a foam cup. It doesn't fit. So what are you left with? You just become very mundane, right? Just like if I tell you, oh, you guys, I'm newly married and I really love my wife. And then somebody says, oh, Prabhu, that's so nice. What? She'll say, where the hell? No. Aren't you married? No. I'm giving this as an example. Okay, so say a young man, okay, that's never been married, right? And he comes out and he says, hey, I'm newly married and I really love my wife. And then somebody says, oh, that's so nice. How does she look? And then the young man says, I don't know. And then you think, this guy is a fruitcake. He is nuts. And then you say, what does he like to do with them? I don't know. Who are his friends? I don't know. Where does he live? I don't know. But I love him. There's no meaning to it. It's actually insanity. So the same way, with no real conception of God, we're being told, love God with all thy body, mind, heart, and soul. Or love this ugly yogi. And you're thinking, oh my God, this guy is just unbelievably ugly. You see? So it doesn't work. It doesn't fit. So our faith changes. We go from the blank oval to the ugly yogi. From the ugly yogi, we go to somebody, that's strapping a bomb on himself and blowing up a bunch of people, claiming he's going to be with the 72 virgins or whatever. Where do we go from the bomb? Where do we end up after the bomb? Oh, we end up somewhere like in South India with the Kalki avatar, right? You heard about the Kalki avatar about a year ago? Came out, right? Kalki Bhagavan. This one of these guys was claiming to be this Kalki avatar. Everybody was lining up and they're going there. So they serve prasadam, right? You pay, I think it was like, how much? Like 4,000, 5,000 rupees with a group to go. Or you pay 25,000 rupees by yourself and you can touch his feet, and everything. And his wife is Lakshmi. Not this Lakshmi. She might have been Lakshmi herself, but the one with the Kalki avatar was kind of freaky. But anyway, so they're paying so much. So, but before you see the Kalki avatar, you go and sit down and you eat, the prasad of the Kalki avatar. So anyway, and then they go and see Kalki, they touch his feet, and they come out of there and they're like totally stoned. They're totally intoxicated, right? So some news journalists, they went there and they saw everybody was eating and seeing the Kalki. So they decided not to eat, but they took some of the food secretly and they had it analyzed, and the food was filled up with narcotics. So people are eating this food with drugs, and then they're going and touching the feet. Oh, every time it's Kalki, I'm so happy. I'm like, So after Kalki, where do you go? Oh, we already talked about him. He's the ugly guy. What an ugly guy, man. Oh my God, to say he's God, you gotta be really, you might have to get a new pair of glasses or something, man. There's like really something going wrong there. So faith can change is what I'm saying. All right, let's just say, even if we want to get more like, civilized about this, let's say, you could be a Hindu, And then from a Hindu, what do you guys do? Maybe you become a Christian, right? They'll pay you to go to college. Oh my God, yeah, I'll be a Christian, sure. What? From Christian, we can change. And even in Christianity, we can become a Baptist. And then from a Baptist, you can become a Lutheran. And from a Lutheran, you can become a Protestant. And then you can become a Jew. What else can you do? Muslim. There's a few more out there, right? What is the newest ones? Some of these guys, these Hafi guys, and a few others. Okay, so anyway, point is faith can change. So Prabhupada said what the Bhagavatam and what the Gita are teaching is different from that because it's dealing with Sanatana Dharma. And Prabhupada points out that nowhere in the Bhagavatam, nowhere in the Indian literature do you find the word Hindu. The word Hindu was coined by the Muslims when the Mughals invaded India. They crossed the Sindhu River or the Indus River, and they called everybody on the northern side of the Indus River Hindu. So, and then the British adopted it because they were trying to tell you guys that everything you were doing was wrong and you should just buy British, right? Be British, buy British. Right? So, Hindu came about like that. Hinduism, the term Hinduism, I'm not saying the traditions of India, but the term Hinduism came about like that. But that's like calling everything we do here Americanism. Hinduism, Americanism, Jamaicanism. So Prabhupada said that you'll never find that term in the literature. The term that defines it is Sanatana Dharma. And Dharma means the intrinsic quality of something, according to the Nirukti Sanskrit dictionary, right? Like, I mean, if you watch an Indian movie, right, or you ask an Indian woman, right, what does Dharma mean? Just, in general, you don't have duty, right? Yeah, you'll say duty or you'll say religion or something. But actually there's a deeper meaning that it's the intrinsic quality of something. Like the dharma or the intrinsic quality of sugar is what? Sweet, right? If you go to cook and you open up something and you think it's sugar and then you make the halva and then somebody tastes it and says, oh my God, you use salt. In the Charnamrita, right? So we know, right? The intrinsic quality of sugar is sweetness. Intrinsic quality of fire is heat and light. Intrinsic quality of water is what? What? Oh, you like that word. Did you hear me say that? Yeah, water is liquid. Everything else is solid, right? Okay, so the intrinsic quality of all of us, it doesn't matter whether you're a man or a woman or a Jamaican. The point is a Rafarian. Oh, you didn't say it. What's that religion in Jamaica? Oh, it flew over my head. Sorry. I'm out of touch with those guys. I gotcha. Okay, thanks. So, yeah. So the intrinsic quality of all of us is the quality of service, right? We're all serving somebody, right? Who do you serve? Wow, man, you got this guy. You got this guy really trained up, man. Look at he's all so neat with a straight T-lock, and who do you serve? My wife. He said it with such sincerity, my God. Oh my God, man! You should write a book, training your husband the right way, the good way, right? The good husband, Right? We're serving. Because see, he clarified it because you serve Krishna. See, there you go. Yeah, we're all engaged in some service, right? We're serving our Father. Right? He looks like a very demanding guy. Yeah, well, who else do we serve? We're serving our government, right? We're paying millions and billions and trillions of tax dollars for what? To build 3 new nuclear aircraft carriers to police the China Sea. Like, for real, you know? Like, oh my God. We're paying billions and trillions of tax dollars to serve our government leaders to send a Sputnik missile to the moon while everybody around us is starving and barely making a living. Anyway, yeah, we're all engaged in some service. Now, service, okay, when it becomes free from expectations, that's purification. That's what we're talking about here. And when it becomes completely free from all expectations, that's love. Then when we elevate that loving nature, which is our deepest inherent nature, our deepest intrinsic nature, to the transcendental platform, that means when we begin to function out of love, seeing one another as eternal spiritual beings. When we transcend, transcendental means, one of its meanings, the English dictionary meaning, is that something that is free from the influence of time. So the soul is eternal, so the soul by nature is transcendental. So when we see each other as spiritual beings and we love each other based on that spiritual identity, then we're situated in our constitutional pure position. See that? And then when we direct that to Krishna, then that becomes the perfection of love, or the perfection of yoga. And that's our purified state. And that's our natural state. It's not like something that you have to learn. It's a matter of becoming freed from false designations and distractions. Bhagavat Maharaj, have you ever been distracted before?
Always.
Right? We're going. So this is a basic understanding of purification. And how do we recondition ourselves or uncondition ourselves? By devotional service. Because by going through the practices of devotional service, our practice becomes second nature. And we begin to experience joy from within ourselves, rather than from trying to become happy with material things. Does that mean material things are bad? The answer is no. Material things are not bad. Because the material energy is Krishna's energy, right? In the Gita, what does he say? He says, Binam Prakriti. So this material energy is my potency. Material energy is divided into 8 categories. So we have earth, water, fire, air, ether means space. And then we have subtle material energy, the mind, the intelligence, and the false ego. So when we talk about material energy, we're talking about a manifestation of these things. Okay? Now, Krishna, he gives us a very good example, just like, you know where I live, right? So it just so happens that the park, when it gets filled with trash, the way the air flows around this building, it blows it into my front yard. Okay? So just like this morning, I picked up a bunch of stuff because it was windy. So much paper was in my front yard this morning after I came from the altar. I went home. Okay? Now, paper, right, normally is worthless, especially if it's blowing in the street. All right. However, currency notes, even though they're made of paper, they are invested with an intrinsic value by the government. So normally if a bunch of paper blew in my front yard, I just rake it up or sweep it up and throw it in the trash. But currency notes, because they are invested with an intrinsic value, I can take the same paper and utilize it and invest it and, build a Hare Krishna community or do something, right? Take care of my wife's leg so she can serve Krishna. All right, so, because the material energy is Krishna's energy, it's invested with his potency. Even though its manifestations are temporary, they can be utilized to serve Krishna. Okay, like a knife. A knife in the hands of a criminal can kill us. The same knife in the hands of a surgeon can save our life. So the knife is neither intrinsically good nor bad, but depending on how it's utilized, it becomes good. So the same material energy, when it's utilized in Krishna's service, it takes on Krishna's spiritual potency. Just like an iron rod, when you take an iron rod and you put it in fire, it becomes just like fire. Iron is normally cold and dull. But when it's put into fire, it takes on the quality of fire. It will burn. It will illuminate. So the same way, when the material energy is utilized in a Krishna conscious way, it takes on it frees us from the degradation of material conditioning. Like, here's a good example for you guys. Just like, say we work for a bank. Which bank do you want to work for, Bhagavat? The Bank of Jamaica. Which one are you going to work for? Of where? Nepal? Oh. So lucky. All right, so let's say we're working for a bank. We're using the bank money. We're using the bank office. We're using the bank car. Now, as long as we're utilizing everything for the purpose of the bank, we're getting a salary, we're getting what? A paid vacation? A promotion? Right? But as soon as we start to utilize that money for ourselves, we become criminals, right? We become subjected to the laws, right? Of criminality, of the government. And then we become filled with anxiety. Will I get caught? I won't get caught. I'll just blame Bhagavananda. We start blaming each other for everything, right? You see? So if we utilize the money for the purpose of the bank, we become freed and enriched. If we utilize the money for ourselves, we become criminals. And we're subjected to the law. So the same way, when we utilize the material energy for our petty selfishness, for sense gratification, then, even if it's pious sense gratification, even if you're just going to go home and watch Hindu movies and not hurt anybody, there's still reactions that will come. Right? We have to take another birth. We did that. We've been doing that. That's why we're here in the material world. You see? Whether it's in ignorance, killing animals, and intoxication. I know everything about Krishna. Blah, 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 blah. Or in the mode of passion, I'll become rich. I'll become great. I'll have everything. I'll never drive a motor rickshaw again. I'll only drive lessons. Or the mode of goodness. What would be a mode of goodness example? Mode of goodness example would be, huh? It's probably kind of mixed. Like you two are like probably mixed. I'm just joking. No, like in the mode of goodness, in the Bhagavad Gita is explained that we develop knowledge and a sense of happiness. What's a sense of happiness amongst your girlfriends? Hey, we're in a good place now, aren't we? Yes, Sarah. Right? Hey, I just bought a new house. You're in Houston, right? Where's everyone buying the houses now? It's Sugarland's done, right? Where's the new one? Hey, we just got a nice house in Cyprus, and we're in a good place. And you know, I've got some spiritual knowledge now, and I've got like what do you do? Yeah, I've got some scientific knowledge now, and I'm in a good place, and you know, and then we gain this like I'm not saying you do, but maybe he does. I'll have to ask his wife. Does he have a sense of being superior to others? Oh my gosh. No, but mode of goodness is like that, right? We think we're in a good place. Actually, we're in the material world. The way the Bhagavatam describes it, even if you're the king of the whole world, the emperor, or whatever you want to be, I don't know, the greatest scientist in the world. Who's the greatest scientist right now? Yeah. Then now you got to specify a field. You have to learn so much about so little, otherwise you don't qualify. But yeah, so you know, even if you're the greatest scientist, the greatest, what do these women want to be? The great, yeah. If you wanted to be the greatest of something in the material world, what would you be? A doctor, man. Oh my God, scientist and doctor. Oh wow, you guys are like perfect for each other. That's a really pious answer. Um, okay, so yeah, if you wanted to be the greatest in this world, the greatest of something, all right, or obtain the greatest of something in this world, right, and think that now I'm in a good place. What the Bhagavatam says is that just like a deer in a pasture, on one side in the forest is a hunter playing his flute very beautifully. You know, like, what's your favorite band, Bhagavad? What's your favorite band, Samriti? Go ahead, just throw it out. Okay, let's just say, what's the one? Well, let's just say, okay, let's say who? Beyonce. Bhakta Steve's a jazz musician. He's saying no, Beyonce's down. Oh, the Philadelphia Orchestra. That's quite. That's that's a that's really an answer in the mode of goodness. Okay, so the hunter is playing a flute on one side in the forest, attracting the deer. He's listening to music, thinking, "Wow, this music is so nice, and this grass tastes so good." And then on the other side of the pasture in the forest is a tiger that's looking at the deer, ready to rip its throat open and eat its flesh. But the deer is thinking, I'm in a good place, I'm happy, I've got good grass, nice music, and the flowers and the butterflies are here. So that's the situation in the material world. No matter how good we make it, no matter how good we're situated, no matter how great we are, we're still faced with repeated birth and death, disease, old age, and suffering. You see? So the guy in the mode of goodness, he might be situated properly, he might have advanced knowledge, he might be very peaceful, you know, and have everything he needs to be happy and healthy, but he's still in the material world. You see? So The transcendentalist is somebody that recognizes that and also sees that this material energy, because it's Krishna's property, it can be used in Krishna. Krishna didn't tell Arjuna just go in the forest and just chant japa. He said take over the whole world. So it's not that Krishna is advocating, you go back to Nepal and just ride around in motor rickshaws. I don't know what the But, Krishna wants us to go into mainstream society and become leaders in the world. Prabhupada wanted us to become so advanced Brahmanically, spiritually, that we could lead the whole entire world back to God, like Prabhupada did. Right? That's the standard of a devotee. Prabhupada showed by example. That's why we have to learn from these acharyas. So I'll make one more point, and then we'll stop because we're over time, is that, you see, normally people just try to speculate and analyze everything according to their intellect and what they've heard from others. And what's pointed out in the purport here by Prabhupada, that doesn't work on the spiritual platform. That we have to take knowledge in the cyclic succession. Okay, the example I was giving, like I was raised with the blank oval God for the old man sitting on the throne. So we know from Brahma Samhita that Krishna is the origin of everything. He's the oldest, right? But we also know that Krishna is eternally youthful. So you see, like, for example, Brahma Samhita, or what we're reading here, this is realized knowledge. These are devotees who are actually with Krishna, seeing Krishna, talking to Krishna, interacting with Krishna. And they're explaining what and why Krishna is the Supreme Lord, how his activities are superhuman. Like he picked up a mountain with his pinky finger, right? How he danced, expanded himself into millions of forms and danced in the Rasa Leela. How he spoke transcendental science, You see? When you read this, or like when you worship the deities here, right? This is not just dressing Barbie dolls. This isn't like just dressing a mannequin in the store of Neiman Marcus or somewhere. How do you know? Because when you dress and serve these deities, you get free from ignorance, passion, and goodness, and you begin to experience transcendental love and bliss from within your heart. You lose your hankering to become someone or to gain something in this material world. That's the actual standard of society, according to the Bhagavatam. Nowadays, people are more or less in the mode of ignorance and passion. They think, well, just getting a lot of money and prestige and, having a really good gold jewelry. Women should have gold jewelry. Even Prophet said that. There's nothing wrong with it. I just threw it in there. Yeah. So the knowledge has to come from people who are realized and who are directly in contact and who are, who can see Krishna and who deal with Krishna. You see, that's the term is Jnanam and Vijnanam. So Jnanam, first of all, means theoretical knowledge, right? Prabhupada gave the example of a mother and their child. And the mother is telling the child, don't touch the fire on the stove or you'll get burned. So the child hears that, and if the child's very intelligent, the child will think, yes, my mom's telling me something that's important, and gradually in time I'll understand it. But if we don't learn by hearing, then we have to learn by seeing others. You see, stick their hand on the then you think, yeah, my mom. But then if you're not that even intelligent, then you just think, oh, my mom, she's always telling me what to do, And then you stick your hand in the fire and then you get burnt. So Vijnanam means those persons who follow the teachings of these previous acharyas and who realize, who see Krishna face to face, just like we're sitting here and we're talking to one another right now. And then that experience, like, I'll give one example and then I'll stop. Like, just like in the material world, we are attracted to opulences. Like, we all know the word Bhagavan. Right? So when we talk about Krishna, we're dealing with two types of names. We're dealing with primary names and secondary names. Primary name is like Krishna, right? His mother calls him Krishna. And Krishna means he's very sweet and all attractive, right? But we also call him Bhagavan. Just like, say, we call the president of India is Prime Minister Modi, right? So what's his first name? Narendra. So, his name is Narendra, his primary name is Narendra, but his secondary name is Prime Minister of India. So, primary, secondary. So, Krishna is the same way. Okay, he has primary names, Ram, Krishna, Govinda, Gopal, all primary names. And then he has secondary names like Paramatma. You're really into that, aren't you? Oh, this is a joke between us. But anyway, the point that I want to finish on is that Krishna, we are talking about the realized devotee. All right, so, okay. So let's say, for example, you see some advertisement for a new movie, right? Like, who's your favorite movie star? Who? Who is your favorite movie star? Who's your favorite movie star? Who? Hey, Dr. Steve, who's your favorite movie star? See, man, these devotees are so advanced. They're so out of touch with this material energy that